Hi, everybody. We're back with another episode or whatever you want to call it. I'm back to talk about another topic. If you're new to the channel, the name of the channel is The Only Stupid Question. And the background behind that is I always say the only stupid question is the one you choose not to ask, because if you choose not to ask, you're never going to have an answer. So today's topic is going to be we're going to talk about Instagram and beyond. It could be even YouTube. It could be Instagram. I personally, as odd as this might sound, I've opted out of social media a long time ago. I never got on board with it. I had this or that for a second or two in my life, and it just wasn't me. It doesn't mean that I'm convincing people not to have it or anything like that. That's not at all what this is about. It's just kind of being aware of your surroundings and who and what you surround yourself with. So, we all know that Instagram or YouTube or any of this stuff is based on algorithms. And the idea is it wants to feed you things that are going to engage you, entertain you, and ultimately, cater advertisements to you. That's how all this stuff gets funded. And it, kind of makes sense. Listen, I think YouTube is fantastic. There's no other time that anyone would be able to share their ideas the way I can or anyone else can with other people. Um, but that being said, you have to take into account what those things are that you're surrounding yourself with. And I think it's very easy to kind of I don't want to say lose track, but we're all influenced. And I talked about this in another video. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we're above the influence of other people. I remember when I was a kid, my father used to tell me he worked in movie theaters. And I don't know if they did this at the theaters he worked at, but he said one thing that they would do is up in the air vents, they would actually put freshly popped popcorn, and as the vents would carry air into the theaters, people would subconsciously smell that smell. I mean, I'm sure it was very obvious, but the subconscious part is that it would make people hopefully crave popcorn or concessions or things like that, because that's the majority of how movie theaters make money. So, what does this have to do with Instagram or any kind of social media entertainment or people that you follow? You might think, and I said this in one of my other videos, that you're very set in your ways, and as an adult, you're clear on what you want and what you don't want. And you may very well go to that movie theater not wanting popcorn, but when that smell gets in the back of your mind, it can make you want something that you didn't think you wanted before. And if you're following things that are kind of contrary to who you are or contrary to who you want to be, you might say, oh, well, I just find it entertaining, or, oh, I would never want to be like that, or, oh, but be aware that over time it can have subtle influences on who we are and how we feel about the world around us. And I was thinking about this today, and, imagine this. Imagine if instead of writing a note to people before you passed away, and I don't mean to get morbid, but if instead of writing a note, who you are or who you were as a person would be determined by what you left behind on Instagram and who you followed. And if right now you were to vanish and other people were to look at that, would it accurately describe who you are, the things that you truly love, the people that you truly admire? Your interests, your genuine interests. So almost only the way a close family member or parent would know you to be. Does it accurately reflect that? And if it doesn't, it might subtly have an influence on you. One of the only times I partook in social media is I went through a really bad relationship that was difficult for me. It was quite difficult. And I think I might have mentioned this in one of my other videos. My self-esteem was way lower than I thought it was. And the partner I had was heavily into social media. And somehow, even though I left the relationship, I still felt like I had to leave because I wasn't feeling good enough or up to par. And that's how she was actually making me feel. It wasn't just something I imagined. So I started to get involved in social media and post pictures of myself, blah, 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 and talk about my life. And because I was trying to be something that wasn't genuinely who I was, because in a way, I wanted to beat her at her own game. And it was, in hindsight, I feel foolish for doing that. But in a weird way, that's how I felt. And it just wasn't who I was. And, I got rid of it. And I haven't missed it necessarily. What I do like about social media is something like this. If I can make an impression on people or make them think, or even if they think about what I'm saying and they ultimately disagree with me, that's okay because I made them think about something. Maybe you'll think about this and you'll say, you know what, I'm perfectly fine. Maybe you'll think about it and be like, what is this subconsciously selling to me? What popcorn is any social media subconsciously selling to me? It's kind of like, I always make a difference between people who live in big cities who travel to small country towns. And, in small country towns, they might wave to you even if you don't know the person. People will leave their doors open, doors unlocked, walk around without fear, leave their car doors unlocked. And then when you go to a big city, that same person might walk down the street with their head down, just laser focused and not want to talk to anyone or be very social. And, it's because of what they're surrounded with. And what do you surround yourself with? I think that's the important question to ask yourself. And is what you surround yourself with what you want to be, or is it how people would remember you if you vanished? So just think about that. And I always try to end my videos with, remember, the only stupid question is the one you choose not to ask. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.